People, DG, I'm back again, deluded. The grind don't stop. I know you're sick of my face. Believe me, I'm sick of having my face on YouTube now. But yeah, fresh off our result on Saturday against Burnley, the 3-1 victory. It's the festive period, so now we might as well speak about Brighton versus Arsenal. We'll preview the game going away to them. Like I've just said, the games are coming thick and fast, and personally, I don't want to see the winter break come in, which it is going to come in. They've already spoken about it, because I like this period. I know we're not, well, we are playing on Boxing Day, but it's not at the Emirates. I mean, Alexis isn't here anymore, but just something sick about the festive period. There was a game, I think Alexis missed a penalty and then he scored a header, and I think Giroud got sent off. It was one Boxing Day. I went at the Emirates. So it's a great period, and this is a unique thing. Games are coming thick and fast. Now, if I say Brighton versus Arsenal, I'm sure Brighton fans as well as Arsenal fans, this is a game Arsenal are expected to win. Our record against them is pretty good, but we've lost the last couple of times we played against them in the league there. Forgive me if I'm wrong. We'll get onto the stats in a bit, so if I am wrong, I have a chance to pattern myself. But at the end of the day, it's another test away from home. Brighton, although their results in the last few weeks have kind of dipped a bit. I know they've had defeats against Bournemouth recently, Chelsea. They fought well against Spurs, but Spurs got a penalty and Kane did his business. So they have fought, and they've been, I wouldn't say they're performing above expectations, but they're higher than many people would have thought they'd be at this moment in time. They're 13th behind West Ham. If results go their way in this game, and probably on Saturday, they can move up the table. So there's a decent chance. Arsenal, we know if we want to get top four, we need to be putting in a run or form together. We've got Liverpool at the weekend now. I'm sure even the most optimistic of Arsenal fans does not expect anything from Arsenal versus Liverpool, definitely at Anfield, but I hope to be wrong in that regards. So the least we can do is damage limitation. If we take 3 points now, and by God's grace we get 3 points, a point minimum at Anfield, but if we win this game, we've kind of got some security. If someone says Brighton to me, I think Brighton play some good football. Chris Hughton's a brother at IC3, so I want him to stay in the league in that. But they play decent football. They try and get the ball forward. They've got enough threats. They've got Solly March, who can play on the right and the left. He's not afraid to cross it. Not sure on his injury fitness or if he's suspended or anything. But Bruno he's getting on a bit as a footballer, but he likes to get forward. Knockouts decision making is pretty terrible, but they've got him. Don't think they'll start Glenn Murray. Don't know any capacity of Glenn Murray, but Glenn Murray is the sort of person similar to Shane Long, Danny Ings, Harry Kane, them man there that score against Arsenal. So he's got a good record at Glenn Murray against the top six. So there's enough to think about in regards to playing Brighton. It's not going to be an easy game. We've got more to lose than them. If they lose, many people expected them to lose. So we need to go out there. We need to go out there and do it. In the last couple of games, we've scored at least 2 goals in 5 of the last 6 games against them. 14 goals in total, allegedly. So this might show you that we are going to score, and they do have a bit of a leaky defense. But they've won the last 3 home games, like I've said against us. So it's gonna be a tough ask. We should be expected to win. Clearly, there's a gulf in quality between the two sides, but they've got a decent squad. They've got issues. One error or problem I see for Brighton is they clearly have an issue scoring. They don't really have top quality strikers. Don't really convert much in front of goal, but they've got enough to cause a threat, and the fans will get behind them and things like that. It's important that we're in control, and we're positionally intact, and we're switched on. Because if I remember last year, did we not lose it due to set pieces, or something's telling me Monreal made a mistake not to dig him out? But this is a game we need to win. Spurs needed 2 late goals, like I said, so they're a team that's not they're not as easy as they might look. They've lost 3 of their last 5, 3 defeats against Chelsea, Bournemouth, and Burnley, and I think they drew 1 sandwiched in between that, and they won 1 obviously. So their form's been a bit indifferent, people. They haven't won in the last 6 Boxing Day fixtures. So yeah, this should be a game we need to win. There's really not much more to say. The games are coming thick and fast. Let me grab my laptop. It's a Mac, just so everybody knows. You know me, I got us Mac people, and we got Macs. The world needs to know that. But let me flick this on quick. Ooh, why don't I ever charge this? 3%. We're gonna die soon, people. But just to be 100% accurate with everything. Technology aid. Now Safari's frozen, people, forgive me. Here we go. It's moving mad, rubby and slow. What's going on? Apologies, people. Yeah, technology is not thinking with me right now. Oh, here we go. Brighton results. Come on. It's meant to be a preview in that. Here we go. So they haven't really done well in the last couple of games. They don't really score much, but obviously they lost recently 2-0 to Bournemouth. They lost 2-1 to Chelsea. They lost 1-0 to Burnley. 3-1. They beat Crystal Palace 3 goals to 1. They beat Huddersfield 2-1. Cardiff beat them 2-1. Leicester drew with them. Everton beat them 3-1, and they lost 1-0 to Wolves. So they're a side that don't score too many goals. I mean, the one that shouts out the 3-1 victory over Crystal Palace. They have, to be credit to them, they've taken points off Huddersfield and Wolves. These sort of sides they need to. Decent result against Leicester, but you can see they're not in the best of form. So what? They've what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The last 9 games, 8, 9 games have kind of been terrible, and they have got a bit of a leaky defence. So one thing that could help us, I'm not too sure if there's enough time to holler the FA and try and get it rescinded, but I believe Duffy, forgive me if I'm wrong, or is it Dunk? One of them, one of their key centre halves is got sent off. I saw it on Match of the Day. Got sent off quite wrongly, quite unfairly, but it helps us because he's typically someone who you can convert in front of goal from set pieces and is a threat. And if they can't call upon their first choice defence similar to us, then it helps us. We should win. We really need to win this, in my opinion. Let me just look at Brighton versus Arsenal results, because I know we ain't done too well against them. Definitely away from home. This is acting, people. But on one thing I wanted to speak about, and it's actually just come to me, I wasn't planning on speaking about it as well, people, is Brighton's shape. You might as well speak about it quickly. Now, you almost see a 4-1-4-1 of sorts. Now, I don't even think I have enough blue ones, so we might have to use the red ones, people, as Brighton. But come on. Oh. We'll use a blue one as the keeper. Obviously, this is a bit of their shape. You see a 4, obviously excluding the keeper, 4-1-4-1. Now, you can probably admit in the game, it'll probably be a bit more like this. Maybe even a bit tighter. I'm sorry, people. The defence will probably be a bit narrower. Try and stay compact together. Fullbacks tucking in, midfield tucking in together. Obviously, Glenn Murray or whoever, they're not really going to spring us on the break, so it's going to be men behind the ball. And the key to this, people, obviously, is to stay compact, stay defensive. Try and not enable Arsenal to, if I make the point, just to, again, a bit pleasing. If they concede, if they remain compact, they might concede a little threat with Kohler and them man there down the wings, down the flanks. They might, obviously, if they're going to think about it logically, people, if you stay narrow as a team, you're conceding the flanks. But again, catch-21, if there's even a thing called that, not catch-22, is because it's positive, is that you've got enough men in the middle. So while you might concede the flanks and allow them to cross, if you've got extra men in the box, you should be able to deal with these threats. So we need to make it count. Kohler and Maitland-Niles, assuming Bellerin's not back. As you can see, our attackers don't really look a bit stressed in that game. So we really need to play penetrative passes, if possible. Passes in behind. Socrates has it in his locker. Leno as well. Oh gosh, it dropped. A couple passes in behind. You get the point now, people. So that's their shape. Yeah, the internet's moving rubby, man. Forget the laptop. But yeah, forget the laptop, man. We don't even need to pre the results like that. But yeah, like if I was to say Arsenal versus Brighton to you guys, you lot would. It's a game we'd be expected to win, and a game we'd be confident. But it is a game that fills me with a bit of nerves, purely because they always seem to give us a bit of stress. Like I said, for me, it's vital that we get 3 points with Liverpool on the horizon. It's vital that I probably wouldn't play Lucas Torreira as well, people, because I'm not too sure on the suspension thing. But I swear down, if he gets suspended against Brighton, he can't play on the weekend against Liverpool. So it does make the lineup a bit weird. Admittedly, people, I'll go for a 4-3-1-2, similar to what we saw on Saturday. If Bellerin's back, that'd be amazing, but I'm not too sure on him or Mustafi. If they are back in training, I'd actually like them to be left alone until possibly Liverpool, because I don't want to play with their fitness. Monreal the same, in which it's Unai Emery spoken how it looks a bit positive in Monreal's case, and he was taken off as a precaution rather than being injured. But my lineup would be Leno, Socrates, Koscielny, because yeah, Koscielny, I think he could play this game. Koscielny, Kohler, obviously, Kolasinac, whatever you want to refer to him as, and obviously Maitland-Niles at right back, so it's a back 4. In midfield, I'll go with. I don't feel Torreira. I'll put Torreira on the bench, obviously, but I don't want to risk the prospect of a yellow card. Yes, Torreira's our best player and we need him, but we probably not going to win against Liverpool anyway, so we need our best players. Damage limitation thing. Xhaka in midfield, obviously. I'd actually give El Nene another run out, and Guendouzi will keep his space. But admittedly, for Guendouzi, I'd like to play. If it was up to me, I'd play Ozil in the 3, and then that brings in Mkhitaryan in the 10, because I do think this is a game where we need to have our attackers and technical players on the fields. But my first choice was Matteo Guendouzi, El Nene, and Xhaka. Ozil obviously behind them. If I just showed you the spaces and how compact I expect them to remain, and people behind the ball, we need to unlock passes. So we need technicians. El Nene's got, not El Nene, Guendouzi's got a pass on him. Xhaka's got a pass on him. Ozil's got the actual madman pass on him. So there's that. And I don't need to tell you who's up front. Aubameyang and Lacazette. Aubameyang got 2 goals. Lacazette got an assist. Forgive me if I'm wrong. Hopefully Lacazette can play 90 minutes. So to recap this side, I'll go with Leno, Maitland-Niles, Kohler at left back, Socrates and Koscielny in centre half pairing, Xhaka, El Nene and Guendouzi, Ozil in the 10 or in the hole, and our 2 strikers and Aubameyang and Lacazette together. So yeah, that's my preview. Not the most heavily spoke about games and things like that. We just need to do our job. And I know Brighton's not in London, but it's not that far from London, so you could say it's a derby of sorts. Something tells me Solly March is going to have something to say in this game. He's very positive going down the flanks. If he could improve his end product to be a better player, same as Knockout. But they've got enough positive players to cause us some issue. We're better than them technically. I want us to dominate the midfield and silence the crowd before we've even really got going. But that's just me. Hopefully we go and do that. But for now, people, Deluded. If you don't come back to my channel, I'd like to wish you a happy Christmas, a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and everything. Stay safe, enjoy it with your family, enjoy it wherever you're doing. Like I said, Brighton versus Arsenal, the preview, that's me done. People, DG, stay safe, Merry Christmas.